Welcome back to more of Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. Last time we went through a diversion that I actually didn't know existed. I completely forgot that we were forced to go to the Henna Mines. But this time, so I'm going to go ahead and, well, I went ahead off camera and I sold a bunch of my loot, and it actually unlocked something at the bazaar. Arrows alight. I freaked out on seeing this at first, but it turns out I don't think it's the burning bow, it's just fire arrows. Which is still pretty good, and I'm just going to sell back the longbow because I don't think I'll need it. And I'm just going to cut out what the shopkeeper said back there because it kind of spoils something that I want to save as a surprise for later in the playthrough. Yeah, fiery arrows. They're weaker than the parallel arrows, but they do fire damage, and I forget if the boss this area is weak to fire. It might be, or it could be weak to wind. So I was originally going to hold off on spending some LP until I got more like 200 LP, but then I realized that Wyrm is really close to shield block, which I should probably get right now. Oh, focus is also pretty good. Well, I suppose while I'm here, I can get shield block on like everyone. More shields. Battle lore. Yeah, I guess I'll just advance a little bit into... I might make Balthier more of a knight-type character a bit later, but for now I'm liking guns on him. Now, as for Fran... Oh, it would actually be really fitting for her to have her level 3 quickening soon. Just don't really know, like, whether it... Oh, okay. I can press the Y button to see all the spells that I have access to on this character, and all of the techniques, and all of the different other things that I have access to, including remedy laws. Okay, that's cool. I didn't actually know about that. Of course, getting Shatterheart here would also give me access to another license for an HP boost. So maybe I should focus on going for that then. This area is pretty much just all magic laws. So yeah, getting Flame Purge here gives me these. Whereas getting Flame Purge here gives me... This is typically a joke weapon, but there are some situations where it's actually good. I don't know if this is one of those games, though. Just don't really know if I want, like, magic on Barsh. Yeah, I'll go for this then. It's locking him out of some magic, but now he has his level 3 quickening. I kind of want to invest in some of these, because I get the feeling that we'll be seeing shops that sell these relatively soon. Oh, Berserk is over here. I don't know, like, how late we get that, though. Maybe I should focus a little bit on some of these. And that'll get me Berserk eventually. Okay, so that's everyone with their LP spent, and I just wanted to kind of show something. So, if we go into the world map, we can actually see, like, where we've been so far. Just, like, look at all of these interconnected areas here. The village, Goldmoor Jungle, Henna Mines over there. But I didn't notice this before. You can look at the region. So, this is the Bangkor region. Over here is the Dalmasca region, which is kind of the center, including Nalbina Fortress. But if we go up here to the Mosferan Highway, so we're in Nebradia, which is mentioned in dialogue quite a lot. And then over here, this is Yagd Yensa, all of that. And over here, we're in Yagd Difor, and we're heading to Yagd Ramuda. Oh, what's the Bujeba region called? Pavama. So yeah, that's just kind of interesting to see that. I also looked up off camera. Also, I want to go back just to make sure that I've saved. I had actually not saved. I found some rare game in here, and 2 of them are just another one of those 20% spawn rate enemies. One of them is actually kind of interesting, because it's an enemy that may have appeared in, because it's an enemy that may have appeared in an earlier Final Fantasy game, just horribly translated. So if you look at our map, we're in the Needle Break now. I actually must say, I really love the area names in this game. Paths of Chained Light, the Rustling Chapel. I mean, I know they're all very... Whisperleaf Way, the Branch Way. I mean, I know they're all very high fantasy-ish, but I still kind of like them. So, one of them shows up in the Paths of Chained Light and just has a 20% chance of spawning. The other's in the Branchway with the 20% chance of spawning. And then there's one called the Grave Lord in the Rustling Chapel, which requires you to build a chain of 21. However, the Rustling Chapel, I think, is a little beyond our ability at this point. Actually, no, the Grave Lord's only like level 24 to 25, so... maybe it is possible, I guess I'll have to see. But, I kind of want to go through the Rustling Chapel anyway, just to show off that thing I was talking about when we were last in the jungle. That semi-sequence break that some people like to use. Like, it is actually considered a valid option. Also, I don't know why I'm, like, walking sideways sometimes. I really hope my Joy-Cons aren't drifting. Don't know why Fran is just attacking right now. Are these things... well, I'm not Libraing. Maybe I should activate Libra just to make sure I know what these things are weak to. Ice, okay. I'd rather Fran be on the Gambit set that just focuses on using Arrow if there's multiple enemies in play. There we go. Actually, I should probably just be heading repeatedly back and forth between this area just to make sure that thing spawns, which is a trick that is useful for enemies like that. Oh, Marlboro. Yes, thankfully it is dead before it used Clawing Breath. Yeah, I'm going to just head back and do that, just to see if I can try and guarantee a spawn. Huh, I just realized that due to the way the camera is positioned, if I hold back on the analog stick, I will be repeatedly going back and forth between these two areas. I wonder if that's going to be enough. I don't know exactly where in the Paths of Chained Light this thing spawns. But I do know that it's in here somewhere. Obviously got to put a Gambit like that on Fran, otherwise she won't attack things if none of the conditions for her spells are fulfilled. Larsa leveled up. He's greatly outpacing the party now. Uh-oh. This is the area of the bad enemies. Maybe might be a good idea to turn off Gambits and run. Especially since I'm on fast mode and that happened.
Not like this.
This is long before that became a meme. When did Not Like This become a meme? Oh, of course. Of course, that's the rare game that I wanted to fight, and of course I run into it while I'm being chased by high-level hellhounds, and I'm running through an area of Marlboros. Yeah, this is not a good situation to be in right now, especially since Larsa is down. Let's just, if I turn both his Gambits on, he should be automatically Phoenix Downing. Yep, there we go. Guess he prioritizes Varn over Larsa, I suppose? And now that Marlboro absolutely has to die. Because otherwise it might use breath. Gonna leave with Varn here. Okay, so yeah, that thing, if you noticed its name tag earlier, Midgar Somer, which I think is actually what that thing in FF7 that's kind of infamous, because I think you're supposed to have the buggy in order to get past it. It's supposed to be like an unbeatable enemy that you need to get like a plot thing to get past, but I think you can sequence break and get through it without the buggy. Forget exactly, like, again, I've never played FF7, so I'm not really sure, but I think it is possible to, like, sequence break past it, basically. But I think it was supposed to be translated as Midgar Somer. It's a Norse mythology reference. And here it is right here, Midgard Somer. But I have seen like a lot of videos in FF7 that are like, how to dodge the Midgar Zolom, which is how they translated it in that game. Oh, Larsa's Gambits are off for some reason. Oh, because I turned them off when I was running away from the Hellhounds. I know there's a... which was it? Was it Secret of Mana that had an enemy called Heckhound? I just think that's kind of a nice lampshade hanging of SNES-era Nintendo censorship policies. Yeah, this thing's really not that bad. It has a lot of health, but it dies pretty easily to basic attacks and just ordinary strategies. Okay. Right then. I do kind of want to go to the chapel, but I guess the best way is through here. Thank you for killing that Marlboro horribly. While I'm on my way down there, though, I can talk a little bit about Larsa. I was actually saving this until Larsa joined the party for the second time, because I knew he would, because I did remember that from this game. But Larsa is voiced by Johnny McCohen, and looking him up just to get a little bit of additional information for that video back in the mines, I actually found out a few things about him that I didn't realize before. The first thing was that he is actually my age. He was born only like a month before me, so that actually makes me feel kind of old, because he was like about 15 maybe when he played Larsa in this game. This was like 2006. Now, is this barrier going to be dispersed because we have the tier? Okay, first everyone's being distracted by something. And killing Marlboros is always a good distraction, because all Marlboros deserve to die a horrible, horrible death. And yep, we can get through. It's a pretty cool animation too.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been in a lot besides this. I think he was in something called The Good Place in 2016. But the interesting thing that I found out while looking him up is that his mother... Oh, there are hellhounds down here. Okay. No, don't automatically aggro onto the hellhound. Right. I'll stop my tangent for a second while I, If we are gonna try and go into the chapel, I'm gonna have to turn off everybody's gambits and just focus on running away from everything. But his mother is Tracy Ullman, who I thought to myself, I know that name, and the Tracy Ullman Show is the variety program that The Simpsons originally debuted on, and she's a very famous British comedian. I think she still does a lot of work. Oh, yeah, those are actual coils. 38. Okay, not quite as bad as I thought, but still not good. Yes, before we move, are gonna have Larsa cure us all. Which reminds me of some of the early Dragon Quest games where the party heal spell is just called Heal Us. Okay, this is probably gonna end horribly, but I do really want to at least try and show this, because this is something that people actually do, and you'll see why they do it after I get through here. Here comes the coils. Rake. Nah, that's not the worst thing they could do. What are you? Dinosaur. It's a bit of an interesting pun name there. Only like 200 damage? I'm disappointed. Question mark. This is the Feywood. And as you can tell by the music, we're really not supposed to be here right now. If we check the world map, it's down here. This is a place where the mist is incredibly dense and very, very dangerous. And there's also traps that kill you. It's like, just like the Westerstand early, this place is just, like, the music is just screaming, turn back now, this place is too dangerous for you. We've got enemies here that start out with haste, and if I can just check their levels, Deadly Nightshade. Now, I do remember the Deadly Nightshade, so I think in my first playthrough I actually did go here early, and, weak to water. We can probably, I will switch off of the fiery arrows because they might be resistant to fire. I can probably take, like, one of them, maybe. But if they go to get help, I'm done with this. Oh, right, nobody... Oh, they don't have a lot of health, actually. I'm only gonna fight, like, one group here, and then I'll get out of here. Because, yeah, single attack. They do, 500, like, damage in a single hit. They also have that scream. They're basically supposed to be This might actually be bad. I don't want to use my quickenings yet because... Oh, wait a minute. Although if they're... Oh my god, there's even more of them. So, like, yeah, as you can see, this is not good, at all. These are basically the really, really, really bad versions of the Rogue Tomato. Oh, that was not good. I don't think we've seen Whip Kick before. Okay, I forgot how cool that looks, but I did not get lucky with mischarges there. Okay, one of them died, just like one, and I didn't get a concurrent, so I didn't get an AoE. We are leaving right now. So, yeah, as you can tell, oh, really? Really? That thing's, like, right in front of us as we get out. Well, I would say we weren't out of the woods yet, but we're literally in the woods now. But it's a little safer than the other woods. Oh, petrify. Yeah, so, this is what coeurls do to you, by the way. The actual coeurls, not their little cousins, the panthers. The actual coeurls, they do this to you. I am so thankful for this system. And so I went back to the save crystal to heal. We're gonna head the real direction we're supposed to go this time. The reason why I wanted to show that is because, as I was alluding to before, there are some players who actually consider trying to dash through the Feywood, because the Feywood does actually have an exit to the next area we're supposed to go, the area that we will get out of through leaving the woods. Or rather, the Golmore Jungle. So you can access the next area via the Feywood rather than here. That looks like a differently coloured Marlboro, and that worries me. Great Marlboro. Well, thankfully in this game, Great Marlboros aren't nearly as bad as they are in FF10 or some of the other ones, but they're still pretty bad. I think it's like, is it Elder Marlboro? There's a way worse Marlboro, basically, and it's dead. So Marlboros are probably an enemy type where you might want to control a ranged attacker, because if you can't get close to them, then their breath is not going to hit you. But yeah, you might be wondering, like, what could possibly be bad enough that players would actually choose to trek through the Feywood on purpose and go through all of that instead of go through the Golmore Jungle the normal way? Well, I think we're about to find out. Yep, there is a... Oh, it's a gate crystal, not just a regular save crystal. And a few Viera over here. Okay, just talking about Mjörn's situation. But also we have a chest here. Amber Armlet. Okay, I just noticed the optimize button here, but the problem with that for Fran is that that'll mean it'll lower her magic considerably. And that'll just boost her attack power, but it will equip a physical weapon. Amber Armlet, oh, increase physical damage dealt while empty-handed. Yeah. As fun as it would be to punch this next enemy to death, maybe not. So they give you a gate crystal here, for fairly good reason. Because look how the forest is starting to look a little bit less inviting over here. We're entering like an ancient tree, and considering the jealousy of the wood, that's probably bad news. So, who has, now that I know I can check this, who has... You have Remedy Law 3. You, I think, have all the Remedy Laws. Okay. Remedy Law 2. Most of us have a decent number of Remedy Laws, except Pinello. And Lasso only has the bare minimum. So, Bolthea. Okay, Bolthea should be the one that I use my remedies with. I probably don't really have, like, enough remedies either. How many remedies do I have? I forget if I can buy those. I probably can buy those. I have 10. That should be enough. So, remedy laws. Remedy laws are extremely important in this fight. In fact, I'm going to set Balthier's gambits to use remedies on people who are statused. And I'm even going to put it above reviving people. I think I'm right about this boss placement. I probably am. Yep. I know this place. I know this place very well. This is something that I very much do remember from the original game. Meet what is often considered this game's that one boss, the Elder Wyrm. A boss so irritating that people actually often cut through the Feywood out of this area, rather than face it. Looks like Fran's casting arrows, so I'm guessing it's weak to wind. But yeah, Elder Wyrm has Shell on, so actually Fran, dispel that if you can, or does Larsa have Dispel? Does Larsa have it? No, he does not have Dispel, so you're going to have to do that yourself, unfortunately. Sleep! So as you can probably tell, the gimmick of this fight is status ailments. This thing is gonna spam status ailments on you. Sleep is the least of your worries. Also, you just use Protect and Shell. I kind of like the idea of having Balthier and Fran in on this fight, but you know what? Maybe Varn's the expendable one. Because I want to have, like, a second, like, somebody that I can safely have on Dispel duty who won't be hurting my damage output. Oh yeah, he summons Treants as well. I forgot about that. I think I'll go for the Treant first. So Fran's here for the arrow magic. Just good crowd control for the Treant. Also, we're fighting in very cramped quarters too. And yeah, go with those remedies, Balthier. And now it's casting Confuse. So that's a thing. Do I happen to have any measure licenses on Balthier right now? I don't, but can I, like, LP spend in the middle of a battle? This is a very weird thing to be doing right now, but, Glit Measure. Okay. This is kind of silly, but, mid-battle license strats. Because now I can equip Balthier with the Glit Measure, and then order him to, rather than waste a remedy, although I think the remedy is already going off, to smack Penelo in the face with the Glit Measure. Yeah, he's already remedying. And now he's casting Slow. But yeah, see, whacking Penelo just gave Penelo Protect status. So yeah, kind of funny how that works. Also, this thing's got a lot of health too. Drain seems to work pretty nicely. Oh, yep, and here is the reason why everybody hates this boss, Sporefall. Sporefall is massive status ailments on the entire party. Yep, we all just got, like, look at those status ailments. Oh, and Balthier's confused, so he can't even remedy anybody. Penelo is fine, though. So she could, oh, her remedy laws suck. But as long as they... No, the kunai... The sand, I need that. Where is it? Yeah, Nukai Sand. Give it to Balthier to fix up his confusion. Now that Balthier is not confused, he will start remedying everybody. Which should fix our ailments. I like how Balthier used the remedies on everyone else before himself, like a true gentleman. Oh yeah, so, Fireball. Its strategy as well is to, you might have noticed that oil is one of the ailments that Sporefall inflicts on you, and Fireball does extra damage if you've been oiled, obviously, so... yeah, this thing is like by far, like, this is like probably in my opinion the first like truly dangerous boss in this game. And you can probably see now why people actually like to cut through the Feywood rather than fight it, because you can skip it if you decide to brave the Feywood instead, which might actually be somewhat of a decent option. I have a feeling it might be using Sporefall again, because it's not doing much, it's kind of standing still and really not doing much. Arrow's doing pretty well against it. Yeah, the Cherry Staff is great for this fight, because it's weak to Arrow and that'll boost the wind damage. And I know I really should be using Ash here, because, you know, optimally she'll be doing more wind damage. However, I think this is really Fran's fight. And weird camera close up there. But yeah, this is really Fran's fight. And speaking of which, now, let's hopefully have her finish this.
I never miss.
10 quickenings. Let's see what we get here. None of them are level 3. Cataclysm, okay. So nothing new. Is this gonna finish you? Is that, this is the question. No, it actually didn't kill it. Right, it should be down soon. I had a feeling it wouldn't kill it. Fran finished it, nice! One more arrow did it. Now is probably not the time to be thinking about this, but like, is there a grass dragon type in Pokemon? If there is one, then I'm the worst Pokemon fan ever for forgetting it. You know, Fran, if you're like eating that arrow, if that's like the fire arrow, then it's been dipped in like oil and stuff, and that's probably not good for you. But anyway, yeah, that boss. That is that one boss to pretty much everyone who's played this game. And it says something that I still remember so much of that fight, despite the fact that it's been like over a decade since I played this game, like over 15 years. There's a chest there too, I'm probably going to pick it up, but oh, wow. Honestly though, I like that fight. Like, that's actually, like, it's tough, but it really does force you to strategize. And, like, make sure you have your gambit set up right, and it also really shows you the value of remedy lore, why you really don't want to skimp out on the remedy lore licenses, because you really, really want those. It's also a good showing of, like, just how debilitating status ailments are in this game. This game has some really nasty status ailments. In a way, I just suddenly thought of Xenoblade Chronicles again, but, like, it's kind of the reverse, because I always found that in Xenoblade Chronicles, other than, like, spike ailments, status ailments were rarely ever a threat in that game, especially since you can just snap each other out of status quite easily. But in this game, like, there are some, like, really, really bad ailments in this game. And the Elder Wyrm is basically your introduction to just how bad they can get, especially when they're stacked like that. And blind. Which thankfully I don't think affects magic. So now we're in the branchway, and guess what? There's a rare game in the branchway that has a 20% chance of spawning, so I should probably just run back and forth and try and make that appear. Or it could show up the instant I start talking about it. I can't believe that, but that's actually the rare game I was talking about. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, though, yes, it's just like a bat-type enemy, really. Oh, wait, fire is AoE? I didn't actually realize. I guess a lot of the second-tier spells are. So maybe I should have my gambit set to use fire against things that are vulnerable to it, rather than... Ah! It drains wind. As we're finding out to our detriment. Find out to all foes in range. Yeah, it is AoE. That's interesting. People probably have been really yelling at me in the comments about that. But now that I've realized we can make things right and blast these things with fire, of course, and if this is what we're doing, why is Ash still using arrow? Oh, because there isn't 3+ foes present, and this thing is the gambit that I was on. And if we are going for fire instead of arrow for our AoE damage, I should switch Ash over to the fire staff. Wait, which she can't even use? Okay. That is interesting. That changes things. Wow, Staves 3 is only up there, but I definitely want access to the Storm Staff, so guess I'll do that. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird thing to happen, but hey, I've pretty much done everything I want to do in the Golmore Jungle now. So that works out quite well. Of course, now that I have the license for it, I've got to remember to actually equip the Flame Staff, which is actually a pretty big increase to stats and stuff. And getting the Flame Staff, it might have actually come at a good time, because we're soon approaching an area that will probably... Oh no, great Marlboros. That will probably have us facing a lot of enemies that are weak to fire, hopefully. I say hopefully because I thought that enemies in, Oh, nice shot there, someone. Because I thought the enemies in the jungle would be weak to fire, but turns out the majority of them are earth-based, because this is like a nature area, so a lot of them are weak to wind. Okay, good one, Ash. Don't know if anyone would be particularly interested in buying a Marlboro Vine. That doesn't sound healthy. Speaking of, like, not sounding healthy, Marlboros, I think, are named after the brand of cigarettes. And we should be almost out of here. There's just a passive tree ant there. Another Marlboro. I seriously forgot Marlboros showed up this early. They're just, in any, pretty much, if someone in the comments can name me a Final Fantasy game where Marlboros aren't like some of the most horrific enemies to fight, then please do, because they are, just, massive status ailment spam is generally not something that bodes well for anyone. And there's the AoE fire going off. Oh, I suppose I should also mention, so, Lars's weapons are the Joyeuse, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, it's probably French, and the Swordbreaker. He fights like a lot of the judges do, which kind of makes sense, using a weapon in each hand. And they're both apparently high-tier weapons from the Final Fantasy Tactics series, so that's another reference there. This game really loves its tactics references. I should, again, probably should play Final Fantasy Tactics. When I get more time for tangents, I'll talk about, like, how that conversation was going with, You're not, like, super strong, from what I remember. Yeah, 27, that's fine. That's fine. especially since you seem to be weak to, like, a lot of strong spells. But I can talk a little bit about how that conversation went, like, regarding Final Fantasy Tactics versus Fire Emblem, because I think they are very different in a lot of ways. But anyway, we're at the end of the Golmore Jungle now. We beat the Elder Wyrm. So I think I will see you next time for an interesting area that I don't remember being particularly long, but it is kind of an interesting kind of biome to be going into from a jungle. So I will see you all then.